Trisha Ford is in studio. Kay Nagley's in studio. How are you, Coach?
Getting ready to hit the road today. Yeah, not too bad.
So don't get mad at the messenger or the question, okay? But you're number one in the country, okay? I know you want to be number one at the end of the season.
Yeah.
It's just the poll right now.
Yeah.
But and I said this to track and field just a second ago, it's a reflection of the work you all have done and the direction you're going. Can I at least make a statement, not even a question, and have you respond?
Yeah, I mean, yes, you know me all too well. I think obviously exciting. This team has worked really hard. They've worked really hard to be where they're at, and they deserve it. And that's the thing. But now you have to earn it every single week. And I don't think people are used to us being at the top. And so there's been some comments coming out, and that's okay. I told them, hey, go out. Let's this practice this week, really, really focused, and just go out and play our game.
I want to talk about Sunday a little bit. It was tied going into the fourth. Woolley has a single and right walks, and then you just need one swing from KK Dement. Just what have you seen from her growth?
Yeah, I mean, I think we forget that she's a freshman. She has just been tremendous. And, the thing is, we were talking post-game, and she said, well, I knew there was runners at first and second. I was thinking that they were going to pound me in, so they were trying to get a ground ball. Obviously, tag third base, go to one. Because I knew I had to elevate the ball. And, this is all coming from a freshman. And you're just like, that's why she's special. She continues to work. She's just a great kid, very, very humble, and just wants to do well for her team. So I'm really happy for her.
On multiple occasions this year, sitting here, I've asked you about the different ways your team finds a way to win. This weekend was exactly that, different ways of winning. Just talk to me about that mindset that your players will do what it takes to get that extra inch, to get that W.
Yeah, I mean, I think, it doesn't really matter how they get on. They just are getting on, and they understand how to just pass the bat. We had the top of our lineup do some really good things. We had, obviously, Mac and Maya had great weekends. Coco had a great, big hit for us, we just talked about on Sunday. But you also had Kramer had a double that cleared the bases. I mean, everybody is contributing, and I think you also are seeing that in the pitching circle, right? Lefty did lefty things. She was great this weekend, but, Kate Munnerlin coming in and getting outs when we needed to get outs. You had Emily Levitt. I mean, that start was huge. I mean, you just had a lot of pieces that just came in, executed their piece, and then, we went on to the next. So it was fun.
At the beginning of the season, you spoke on you had such a confident group.
Yes.
Do you feel like that confidence has dipped at all? I mean, with the success you're having?
Nope. Practice yesterday was funny. I was talking to Griff, and I was just checking in with her and stuff, and they're in a good headspace. They're feisty. I love that about them, and they're ready to go out and compete this weekend. So it's been fun.
Let's talk Emily Levitt. You mentioned her a moment ago, but her mental approach, how has it evolved this season?
Yeah, I think, she really, this last kind of year, right? When you have seniors, they sometimes start to realize, this is it. And she's just made a very valiant effort into connecting with her teammates, her and I. We meet weekly and just talk about other things besides softball and just how she could be better for the team and what's working. And I just think there's a level of maturity that you see with her. And we were joking in our conversation this week of she didn't feel she's like, I pitched okay, but I didn't pitch great. She goes, but what I did was I was able to kind of maneuver through. And if I didn't throw a pitch where I wanted it, the next pitch was. And so, that was a huge growth because in other years she would have kind of panicked. And I feel like now she's just working through it and understanding the art of pitching.
Staying on the same pitching side with lefty Emily Kennedy, she hit around 74. That was her 224th pitch of the weekend. Yes. She was touching that. Just do you feel like she's hitting her stride right now?
That's my psychotic kid, yes. She, that kid has adrenaline, and her and I talk. I need her to live in that 68 to 70 range, but she was really good. I mean, she was good at 74, and as long as she elevates the ball and puts it in the zones that she's really successful with, I'm not going to tell her she can't throw 74, but I would like her to calm a little bit and just control the zone. And she did. I mean, she was just fantastic for us this weekend, and just continuing to do what Lefty does.
Let's talk about, I believe you called it gut games, the Sunday games.
Yes.
Being a really good program and winning games is one thing, but having that ability to seize the moment where you can literally take the life out of a team, that's what you all have done so well on Sundays. Talk to me about that mindset.
Yeah, and I think that's something that we've improved on because I feel like in our first couple of years, Sundays were a little wonky, you know? And so I something that we've talked to them a lot about and just wins in the SEC are hard. And so when you have the opportunity to go out there and take a win, you have to take it. And that's what great teams do. And I think we've been a very good team in the last couple of years, but if we want to elevate, we have to be great. And Sunday's game was hard, right? I mean, it was 3-0 for most of the game. And then KP and Mac, you know, that play was just huge. You know, Mac hit a hard ground ball, busted her tail to go to first base so they couldn't double her off. And then KP wheeled around and scored that insurance run. I mean, that's the game right there. I mean, that's a huge insurance run, and it all comes from hustle and just grit.
Missouri coming up this weekend. They're 3-12 in conference play, but I feel like that record is a little deceiving.
Yes.
7 of those games have been 1 or 2 runs. Just what have you learned about them so far?
Yeah, Mizzou, if you've watched them over the years, gets really hot at the end of the year, and they're always that team that ruffles feathers, I guess, at the end of the year. So they're good. They're very good. Every team in the SEC is good, and I think it's just important for us to go out and play our game. You know, the things that I think have made us really successful this last couple of weeks is our strike zone's gotten really well, or really tight, you know, like we understand what we're punting and what that looks like. And then we've been able to make big pitches and big situations. So I think if we continue to, you know, control that strike zone, both offensively and defensively, we'll be all right.
Can I ask you about the other Diamond team?
Yeah, oh God.
Isn't it great to see from Michael and those young men?
Yeah, I sent him a text message of some inappropriate language, but I was in the office after our games on Sunday because it's a short week this week to prep for Mizzou, and I stopped prepping because, I mean, I've never seen 2 grand slams in the 9th inning, so it was electric. I'm so excited for them and just everything that's kind of going around in Aggie land. So, you know, Weaver, I mean, I told him to come over and rub some elbows with me, but yeah.
Well,
so.
let me add to that because you remember in February we were talking and I thanked you like, hey, there's not a lot of good right now. I think basketball's in the middle of a losing streak. There was all this stuff. And right now things are good.
Yeah.
Like 4 number 1 teams. It's fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Ride the wave, man.
Yeah.
Ride it. So it's a special place. We've talked about it, and a great group of coaches.
Love it. I want to talk about you, getting to know you. You find ways to motivate your team despite a number 1 ranking. And I love that about you. I just think it really, you can see it show. Just, do you feel like despite the number 1 ranking, this can be still a very underrated or sneaky team?
100%. Yeah. I don't think people are used to or comfortable with A&M being in the top in the softball world. And, you know, we have to keep earning that and really just playing our game. I mean, we play hard, we play fast, and we're a little rough around the edges, you know, and I think we have to continue to play that brand of ball and just be successful.
Do you feel like, or I don't think you have to convey this message to the team, but overall, like, we haven't done anything yet. We've done some of the process, but it's not the end goal.
Yeah, yes, and we don't play for number 1 in April. We play for number 1 in May, and that's, you know, something that, you know, we have an alumni group, and they're all fired up, and, you know, and I'm sure the girls are too. You can't run from it. You have to embrace it, and really, they've earned this. Like, they've worked their tails off, but everything that you do moving forward, you also have to earn, and you have a huge target on your back. So let's roll with it. Let's go play our game, and really, our group has to get tighter, if that makes sense. As things start to get closer to postseason, we as a group have to get tighter.